That's a wide body beat. That's a wide body beat. That's a wide body beat.
Yo, Panther Nation, what's good? Welcome back to Carolina's Armchair GM. I am your host, CJ. What's going on, everybody? It's been a minute since I've been on here, since the draft, actually. So we got a lot to catch up on, a lot to talk about. But for me, it all worked out because when I say this has been a busy month, this has been a busy month, all right? But before we get into it, let me first of all say thank you for everybody that has already joined, okay? And a preemptive thank you to everybody who will join in the future here on this live and further on. I appreciate all the love and support, all right? So that being said, make sure when you're coming in, sitting down, getting ready to listen to me ramble on and on and on about my favorite NFL team, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on whatever platform you are on. I definitely appreciate the love and support, okay? And I'm not here alone today, all right? I got my good friend, my family, my blood, my cousin from across the pond, all right? Tony, what's up, man? How you doing?
Man, what's cracking lacking? What's happening? What it is, what it ain't.
And what it gonna be? Yeah, man. Hey, boy, let me tell you this, and that's why I titled the thumbnail, and so it begins, because it's just
Yeah,
like this is still just the tip of the iceberg. As far as Panther stuff, we are waiting on the regular season to start. At least with me, I'm waiting on preseason. I think once I get to preseason, I'm
yeah.
Gucci. Even though I am kind of mad, we only got one preseason home game, but it's whatever. It's whatever. But did you notice? Okay, I think this is the first time in I can't remember where we don't play the Steelers. Usually the Steelers are always the last game of the preseason, either in Pittsburgh or in Carolina, because remember Jerry
That's
Richardson, they
true.
said he wanted the Panthers organization to mirror, that of like Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? I guess
Right.
their consistency and their winning and their history and whatnot. But I got to go back and check and see. But this is the first time that I can remember we are not playing the Steelers in the last game of the preseason. So just an interesting little tidbit I thought I'd throw out there. Because how
Gotcha.
you doing, man?
Man, hey, living life, trying to take it easy, just trying to stay alive over here. Lot bang bang going
Ooh,
on, in the
bang bang
past
chitty
three
chitty.
three months or so. But nah, it's been pretty much quiet here the past month and a half, but 2 months prior to that, yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. So, hey man, I'm just doing what I do. You haven't been around in a while, so you know I had to send the APB out on you. I'm like, boy, where you been? Where you been, boy? I ain't seen you in a while. So
Man, hey, man, let me tell you, cuz I haven't been around doing nothing. Okay. When I say last month was a busy month, okay. First of
right.
all, shout out to my oldest son, okay, Cameron Xavier Wilson, my oldest son. Shout out to him. That man has graduated from North Carolina Central University with a degree in political science. Okay, him
Yes,
and his
sir.
girlfriend, they've got an apartment. They moved in together, and just this week, he started working with the Chapel Hill Police Department. So when I tell you, and I hope if anybody see this and can yeah, I don't know if Robin is watching. Robin, if you're watching, nudge your boyfriend and tell him to tune in. But when I say I'm so proud of that boy. So proud of
He
him.
got into the academy.
Yes, he starts the academy on the 8th. But for right
Okay.
now, he's just working with them for a couple weeks until the academy starts. But when I say you looking at one proud dad right here, I mean
Yes, sir.
proud, 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 proud. I'm so proud of that boy, and I'm so proud of him because I know where he come from. And not say he come from anything bad, but the boy hard headed as hell. I always tell this story. When he first got his driver's license, and he went down, to dinner with some family, and there was a girl that he was talking to. Okay, and I used to
Yeah.
always tell him, I'm like, you got my vehicle. Okay, if you want to go somewhere else, call me and let me know. Okay, cause even my mama, my mama Deborah, she was strict as all get out. Okay, would barely let me go down the street sometimes. But when I got my driver's license, as long as I called my mom and told her where I was at, she was cool. She would be sitting in the chair waiting on me to get home, whether it was 2 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning. And long as she saw me
Yeah.
come in the door, she'd get up and go to bed, ain't say a word to me. And I told him the exact same thing. What that boy do? Next thing I know, I find that joker. I look on my phone and my dag van is going on 74 towards back where we come from. It's going east. I, I love him dearly. I love him dearly. But that boy, he's hard headed as hell, but he's a good kid. He's a really good kid, and I'm proud of him. And I'm proud of him. I'm proud of Robin. Like I said, they got their apartment. They both got their jobs. They starting to work in their professional careers. So I love it. So that was part of my busy month. Then my twins, James and Layla, they went to prom. Okay, so they had prom a couple
Right.
weeks ago. They
Shout
had a
out
good
James and
time.
Layla.
Shout out to and it's funny because now he wants to call me Medium James, and he wants to call, he called my daddy Big James, called me Medium James, and he called himself Little James. I said, boy, when we go down to Bolivia, that's cool. I said, but here in this house, I'm Big James, you Little James. I said, remember that. But
James is paying homage to his granddaddy. That's all.
I know, but that's cool. But his granddaddy ain't here right now. His granddaddy back home. We see him, that's good. But
Yeah.
but yeah, they had that, and still been working on my backyard. I finally tore down my old shed. I wish I'd have brought the video in here. I took 3 walls of it down like bare. I left the one in the back, and I tied a toe strap to the front of it. And I sat there and literally yanked and pulled the whole damn thing down. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
it was beautiful. It was beautiful, 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 beautiful. But that's why I've been there. I've been here, but I just been doing but as you can see, even my tool chest is changed in the background. That
Yeah, I
blue
saw
tool chest
that.
is out in my new shed. That's actually my wife's tool chest. But it still has her stuff in it. But we still working on moving some stuff around because she
Oh,
got
oh
another
no.
big piece.
Yeah, I'm about to say tell the truth, CJ. Your shit just got shipped out. She done maxed out the big space,
No,
so she
no, no,
needs a
no.
little bit more
No,
room.
no. It
You
was
just
my
happen
idea.
you just happen to be working in the closet.
No, it was my idea because yes, that stuff right, it's full of her stuff, but that's
Uh-huh.
gonna change here shortly. But I put my big
Yeah,
tool chest out there in the shed where I could use it. So it's all. But
and where it's gonna stay and where it's gonna stay.
no, no, it's gonna stay there. It's gonna stay there. But this one right here is gonna get empty, and I think I'm gonna rearrange this stuff around here again. But
Gotcha.
that's to everybody out there. And let me tell you, and I appreciate the people I see in the. I'm gonna get to the comments here. I appreciate everybody who's been looking for me. I thank y'all. It's a good feeling to know people out there worry about you and wonder where you at. I'm good. Yeah, I just been busy.
Papa says that she said, now you just CJ don't lie. And that's what I'm saying. Probably he work in the
Hold up.
closet.
Oh,
He work in the closet
yeah.
in the she
Oh,
shed.
oh, hold. Oh no, Tony. You know what? You absolutely right. This has been a she shed from the jump. It's yeah. Let me tell you, 20
Yeah, I
20
know, I
feet that
know.
way is hers. 9 feet 4 inches this way, and 16 foot wide is mine. So I'm in the back.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm definitely in the back. But yeah. But let me get back up here to some of the comments. Oh,
Yeah.
what's up? What's up,
Read,
sis?
read the money. Will hit you.
Oh, my bad. Tip Drill Will, what's up, dog?
Tip
He
Drill
said my
Will.
guy CJ is back. Hey man, appreciate that $5, Will. Thank you, my dog. Thank you, thank you, thank you,
Man,
thank you.
me and Will be trying to educate some of the Negroes out here,
Hey,
they still acting like they up on the tree. They don't know how to receive education and knowledge, and they struggle. So me and Will, we sometimes have to break things down for them,
uh,
in logical terms, and it still don't work. It still don't work. But
oh
we
yeah,
try.
I know,
We
I
try.
know.
We try.
I know. Hey, Will, appreciate that, big dog, as always, man. But I see y'all though. I see you. I see y'all over there fighting the good fight. It's just that I ain't gonna lie. I come out here, I sit down. I might get on YouTube and stay on there for about 5 minutes. See who live, see what they talking about, and then I ain't gonna lie. I get my butt up and and go in the house, get something to eat, and I'm out. Put the CPAP mask on. It's a wrap, dog. I'm done. I'm done for the evening.
Yeah.
But well, let me get back to some more of these comments. Again, thank you. Will. I appreciate the super chat. Popping said, I just asked about you. Where you been? Well, you just heard my whole spiel. It said that boy said, oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate I'm trying something different here. My hair grows slow as everything. So, I'm trying to just trying something different. But I appreciate that.
Boy,
Appreciate it.
looking like a
Look.
city lumberjack. Like he been chopping wood for a living. Okay. All right. All right. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. Go ahead.
Ah!
I'm gonna
Wow.
stop,
Oh
man.
God.
I'm gonna stop. Go ahead, cuz. Go ahead.
Oh, you stupid. You stupid. B.
Got an
Amos,
axe
what's good
outside.
with you,
Got an
dog?
axe outside named Paul Bunyan. Go ahead now.
Hey,
Okay,
you
I'm
know
gonna
what? It's
stop.
funny though. One of my best friends just asked me for an axe right before we went live. He had a tree to cut
Oh,
down in his backyard.
hold up.
No,
Hold
hey,
up.
no lie. No
We
lie.
ain't asking
No
for
lie.
chainsaws in 2026. We still asking for an
Oh,
axe.
no, no. Okay, no, he asked for a chainsaw. He asked for a chainsaw. But me and my other friend, we was like, man, just take an axe to it, dog. Like, just
Yeah.
just, just take an axe to it and chop it down. Because if it's the tree I'm thinking about, it's not that big. You take an axe 4 or 5 hits, that thing be done.
Your man
At
said you need
least
some overalls.
hold on, I'm gonna get down to you. Hey, PPP, bacon cheddar and beef jerky. What's up? What's up, Pastor Bowberry?
Yeah, Bishop Moon
Hey,
Pie.
look, I'm gonna have to call him Elder Smoked Sausage now. They got the smoked sausage biscuit bag. Elder Smoke.
Deacon
Oh
Burnt
god.
Edges. What's happening?
Yo, let me tell you, hey, real talk. Real talk. Whenever Bojangles has that smoked sausage biscuit back, I am there. That's got to be my favorite thing they have. And it's always the stuff my favorite thing, they always want to have them there for a couple weeks and then they gone for 7, 8 months. But whatever. What up, PPP?
Oh,
He
God,
said,
you
what
got
up,
me in
Big Tone?
tears. You got me in tears. We ain't even got started yet. Oh,
Bishop Moon.
God.
Oh, B Amos said Bob. Con said B Amos. Hold on. Said sounds like my son, good kid but hard headed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cam is one of those kids where, and I think hard headed might be a little too harsh of a term sometimes, but from my perspective, I call it hard headed. You know,
Yeah.
my daddy always told me, advice is something that people, something you give people. Okay, it's not you telling them, hey, you have to do this or you're wrong. Okay. And that's why I always keep trying to tell him that I'm always going to give you advice. And I'm not trying to tell you that you got to listen to me word by word, verbatim, or you're wrong and everything's going to fall apart. But I said, sometimes, son, listen and take some of the things that I tell you and take some of it out, and you might be able to apply it to what you already doing, and it might work, it might help. I said, and if it doesn't help, I said, hell, shoot, tell me, tell me to stop giving that bit of advice. But boy, let me say,
Right.
when I say that boy is like, no, I'm doing it my way, win, lose, or draw. Hey, look, Tony, after a while,
Hey,
I had to do like this and be like, you know what? All right, but I say, if you fall, I'm here to pick you up. So,
that's how you learn in life. That's how you learn in life.
yeah, buddy.
Yep. I'm the
Busy
same way
father
with
for the
my
right
daughter.
reason. Yeah,
Yep.
buddy. Let me see. What's up, SC Panthers boy? How you doing? Say what's up, Coach
Hey,
Tony.
SC
What's up?
SC being out here wilding, dog. I don't know if you've been paying attention to
What?
any of the lives on Unk channel. SC
Uh-huh.
be in the comments talking big boy shit.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. SC got them jokes, dog. He got them jokes. I was
Oh,
like,
hey,
is this the
I'm here
same
for
SC from a couple years ago? Yeah,
it.
SC about that life, dog. SC about that
Hey,
life.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But hey, Green
Yeah.
80. What's up? I see you over
Green
there, Prime.
80.
Nervous, what's going on, man? How you doing? He said lumberjack. It said but hey, but you know what though? You know what? I would not mind a pair of I can't remember the difference overall and coveralls. I want the ones like they be wearing on the show Moonshiners. You know, the ones that just had the
Yeah.
straps come over. I can't remember if those are overalls or cover. I always get them mixed up. I'm gonna get me a pair of them so I can do work around the house. Be going in the
You
Home Depot with my cowboy boots on and my whichever one it is, my overalls on.
you ain't even gotta buy none. I know Uncle Cliff got about 10 pair in the closet right now.
But you know what though? Hey, let me tell you, when I say my daddy lost a lot of damn weight, if he is updated those, I ain't gonna be able to fit them.
Yeah.
Let me tell
Oh,
you,
okay.
hey, cuz when I say he ain't nothing but a belly. All he got is a belly sitting right there now. That's
Oh,
it.
gone.
Boy, that is it. He said Elder Smoked Sausage is crazy. Hey, shout out to Cha 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 1370. They said, "What up, CJ? Glad to see you back in the face." I appreciate that, dog. Appreciate that. Like I said, man, it wasn't because I didn't want to be on here. Like I said, I had a real busy month. And I was just sitting there, I was like, you know what? Yeah. If it's one thing I had to put to the side for a little bit, it was this podcast. I had a lot going on, but I'm back, man. Oh, they see, they go my boy to ask about that. He said, just call me
Oh,
Papa.
revolutionary poetry.
Hey, shout
That's
shout out
what's
to
his
my
name? Isn't that what's the name that went to training camp with us that time? That rode down to
uh,
Spartanburg?
n-
What's his real name?
Jamal.
Yeah, the one that went to school with you, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
You tell
yeah,
my
yeah,
memory's terrible. Yeah.
yeah.
You know what?
What's up,
Yeah.
Jamal?
That's my boy Maul, and his birthday is in the second, so in a couple of days, and I'm going over
Happy
to his
birthday, my
crib
guy.
this evening to drink his liquor and eat food, and hopefully there'll be some music over there. I feel like dancing today. I know he ain't gonna dance. He danced like a stump. A stump anchored about 90 foot deep. That's how my boy Maul dance. He don't. Okay.
Hey,
But
Jamal,
but
if CJ dance, dog, you gotta get it on video. You gotta get it on video, dog.
Hey, look,
I
remember
gotta
that
see
Maul, man.
this.
Oh man, I can dance, dog.
Well,
I got
hey,
moves.
hey, hey,
Whether I
hey.
choose to use them or
Cut a
not.
rug then. Cut a rug. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. Oh, and again, hey, Charles, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Thank you. Let me see. Cheddar bowl biscuit is the best thing objectively. I got you. Oh yes, and dirty rice. Oh Jesus
Don't
Christ,
forget the dirty
yes,
rice.
yes,
Yes, sir.
Lord.
Don't
Ooh, won't he
forget the
do it?
dirty
Woo.
rice.
Nah, bro, you got to go to Biscuitville for smoked sauce. Oh, with onions and cheese. Oh shit. Glory to God. Okay. Damn.
Where's Biscuitville at? Where's that?
Oh,
Is that new?
up in yeah, it is. Well, it's not new. They got one
Well,
on the other
okay.
side of Concord Mills.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I bet
Oh,
I bet
hey,
you my daughter know where it's at.
hey, Tone, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Guess what town has a Biscuitville?
Supply?
Charlotte.
Charlotte got a biscuit? Okay.
Charlotte, hey, bruh, when I tell you Charlotte is doing this right here, Charlotte got a Biscuitville, Charlotte got a Chick-fil-A, what is it? That's Lowe's Foods or what's the other one? I forgot.
I know they got a Walmart. Did they open up
Yo,
a Costco or something like that there?
they been had Walmart. Yeah,
Yeah,
Walmart
yeah, I
been there
know that.
forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the other one? Not Lowe's Foods, but the other one. But and I know a lot of y'all sitting there looking like, well, dang, let me tell you, well, where we from, it's little to nothing. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
that was more for me and Tony here. So overall, okay, got you. Overall, okay, all right, cool. I'm gonna go get me a pair of overalls in.
Hey,
Hey,
quick,
he's
real quick, why it
I
crossed my
got you.
mind, CJ, I want to
Uh-huh.
give a shout out to my, I call her my godmother, but she was a long time, um, girlfriend of my dad. She
Mm,
is one of the younger sisters to Michael Jordan's father. Her
mm.
name is Catherine Dolores Jordan Cooper. She just passed away 3 days ago, right there in Wilmington.
Oh
She
man.
grew up. Most of her family grew up out there in the Wrightsboro area.
Yeah.
Out there behind the airport. So,
Mm.
like her sons, they went to school and played ball with Michael and his older brother Larry. So
Okay.
yeah, I they they have been a part of my family, or I've been a part of their family, Mary, since I was small. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So yeah, she was like a second mom to me, man. My mom loved her. There was nothing she wouldn't do for us whenever, we would come to Wilmington and we didn't want to stay at my dad's house. He'd load us
Mm.
up, put us in the car, take us out there to Riceboro, man. But yeah, my sister just told me about that a couple days ago. So I just want to give her a shout out, man.
Oh man, well I'm sorry about that, man. My
Yeah.
condolences. My condolences. And also shout out to little sis Rashida. That's big cuz for me because both of y'all old as hell. But yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. My bad, sorry.
I'm gonna
All
tell her what
right.
you said.
Hey, go right ahead. She gonna call me and tell me about it too.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
All right, well, cool beans. Well, all right, well, let me go ahead and get into the Panther stuff here. All right. So, okay. Now, like I said, it's been a minute since I have been on. The last time I was on, it was during the first round of the draft. Okay. So we're gonna take a little bit of time here, not too long, because I know everybody, their mama, their cousin, their best friend, they play niece, everybody has been talking about the NFL draft, the Panthers draft. And I know a lot of y'all have heard this, 50, 11 times. But I still want to say a little bit about it. Okay. So the Panthers draft class, I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect them to take Monroe Freeland with the first pick in 19, but I'm glad they did. Okay. And I did a few mock drafts, and most of my mock drafts I took, a left tackle. Because again, I will say this at the time, our backup, at the time, our backup left tackle gave up 13 sacks in 11 games. Okay. So I am glad they did this, and it may be I know it's gonna be a situation where him and Rasheed Walker will be battling for that left tackle spot, but Rasheed Walker is on a 1-year deal, okay? And I know first round pick, everybody wants him to go out there and play and contribute, but in the case of injury somewhere else, especially like Taylor Moton side, maybe he could flip over there because he did say that he's open to playing, both sides of the ball, left and right. So I think that was a move for hopefully not now, but definitely for the future. If he gets some time, excuse me, because what I'm hoping is, Freeland, I'm sorry, Freeland, Walker, and everybody else on the offensive line, Taylor Moton, Robert Hunt, whoever starts at center, because there might be a little position battle there. And Damian Lewis. I hope they play and start and be healthy all season. And like I said, you come next year, you throw Monroe on that left side, he's already jumping out the gate, ready to go. Okay. Let me get the rest of these real quick. And Tony, I'll get your thoughts on them. Lee Hunter, okay, Lee Hunter, who I think is about to turn into, probably a more important pick, than we first thought of. Okay. Also with Chris Brazzell as well. All right. He's probably going to be battling for that third wide receiver spot, with XL. Okay. And I'm hoping that it'll be a battle where they can both make each other better. I'm hoping that at some point this season you see both him and XL on the field, and we've gotten to the point where you got to worry about both of them being a deep threat, whether out there on the field together, whether separate, whatever. Okay.
Right.
Will Lee at the cornerback spot, big physical cornerback, gonna play behind JC and Mike Jack. A depth piece for now, you know what I mean? Maybe it'll turn into something else. When I say something else, I just mean him getting more playing time. But I mean, you never know Evero's defense. I mean, he moved people around like like checker pieces. Sam Heck, the center out of Kansas State. If Luke Fortner is not on his P's and Q's, Sam Heck is gonna be our starting center. Okay. I think Luke
Facts.
Fortner is gonna have to go out there and work his ass off, to beat this young man right here. Okay, Sam Heck is technically sound, and he isn't he's not the biggest center out there, but he is definitely an anchor in the middle of that offensive line. Okay. All right, Zakee Wheatley. I think this is an interesting one. Okay. Because he played they got him down in some depth charts of strong safety, some is free safety. I think he can play both spots. And I know one of the knocks of him was I'm sorry, my pen fell. I know one of the knocks of him, he ran like a 4.5 or 4.6 something 40 at his pro day. So he's
Right.
not the fastest. Our safeties are not the fastest group at all. Let me see. He ran a 4.6. Lathan Ransom ran a 4.5. Nick Scott, I don't know what he ran back whenever, but I mean it's not like he's gonna run down a speedy wide receiver to get past him either. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think, Everall runs. Shit, I ain't gonna say mostly. Damn near all the time. He runs zone, so it's more about being in a position to react to a certain segment of the field rather than having to chase somebody, 90 yards down the field. Okay, so what I'm hoping is he comes in, he probably sit behind Nick Scott. Okay, and Nick Scott is also on a 1-year deal. Okay, also on a 1-year deal. And like I said, I got to give Nick Scott props for playing a lot better last season than he did the previous season before. Okay, in 2024. But
Right.
like I said, 1-year deal. This might be his replacement. Okay, and then you got Jackson Kawach, the linebacker out of Miami. Okay, and that is Miami, Ohio. All right. And I think this is going to be interesting. I haven't watched any tape on him. I've seen a little bit of him at in the clips of OTA'S. Definitely a project. I'm saying, but I hope it turns into something. Okay, I definitely
Right.
hope it turns into something. All right, and real quick, oh, hold on. Papa said, take your time, CJ. We ain't got nothing to do with it's raining out. Man, oh my God. Papa, let me tell you. When I say I'm glad that we're getting rain, because now I work for Charlotte Water. Okay. So, this was what we talk about. I work in building maintenance. I still hear all the stuff about the droughts and all that good stuff. But man, when I tell you this, and all y'all in Charlotte know the rain has been schizo the past week. Tony, the bottom will fall out for half an hour straight, and then the sun will come out for 3 hours, and then the bottom fall out again later on in the day. When I tell you
Yeah,
this
that's what
been
I've
the
been hearing.
craziest rain. Oh, it's so aggravating, so aggravating. Hold on, partner, I got another. But hey, shout out to Nerve Ash with $10 super chat. Thank you, my man. So I was kind of surprised to see all the positive comments about the draft. I was upset they didn't get a linebacker or free safety in round 1 or 2. Our interior linebacker room is pretty bad if anything happens to Devin Lloyd. Now let me tell you, I cannot disagree with that last sentence. I cannot disagree with that last sentence.
Yeah, that was a
I
hot
was
topic of discussion last week. Well, not last week, just a couple of
oh
days ago on Unk Channel.
okay. I mean, yeah, because like I said, now mind you, I pray don't nothing happen to Devin Lloyd, but I mean, Nervash, you got a point. You definitely have a point. Definitely have a point.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would have liked to see them take a linebacker, earlier on in the draft. I'm not gonna lie, like the Brazel pick, really surprised me. I don't hate the pick. I actually like the pick, but it kind of surprised me because we've got 72 wide receivers on this roster right now. You know, we
Right.
got what 18 spots for everybody else. It's 72 wide receivers on the Panthers roster right now. At least it feels like it. It's a lot of them. You know, there going to be some tough decisions to be made in that wide receiver room. But yeah, but I agree. I do agree with you right there. I really do wish they would have taken a linebacker earlier on in the draft. But I mean, we're here now, so we got to see what goes on. Now I will say this, okay? Um Wallace, Trevin Wallace. Now there were times last year where he looked like he was starting to get things together. He was starting to figure things out and was playing decent. Oh, okay, alongside of my man with the hair that just left. I forgot his damn name. Roseboom, Christian Roseboom. You know, so it looked like he had moments where he was getting together, but again, you know, another injury derailed his season. So we'll see if he can come out this year and again work his way back to putting it together, but staying healthy in the process. All right. And again, Nervash, I appreciate your super chat, man. As always, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. He also said, not saying it was a bad draft. I was just underwhelmed compared to a lot of other people, I guess. And then popping before that said, what would you change anything about the draft? Yeah, I like Nerve said, I probably would have took a linebacker. You know what I mean? Because our linebacker room now we have Devin Lloyd, Trevin Wallace, Claudius Shirellis, Bam Martin Scott. And I know we got Jackson Kawach now, but I agree with taking the linebacker earlier you know, in the draft. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. So Tone, give me. I know I've talked and rambled. Give me your thoughts on the draft, cuz.
Okay. Well, back in January, um, I first started telling you about Monroe Freeland, and I think it was February where CBS came out with a mock draft, and they had Monroe Freeland coming to the Panthers. You remember I sent you that in the WhatsApp,
Mm-hmm.
and we
Yeah.
both was looking at with the big eyes. So I have been scouting Monroe Freeland. I watched like 3 or 4 games of his last year. I like what I saw, and for the first round. I was either hoping they would go offensive tackle or a linebacker. Offensive tackle was a very, very much of a need because of the injuries that we have on the offensive line. And if you want to solidify that left side, especially you don't know what you're going to get from Icky when he comes back, when he come or if he comes back. You know what I'm saying? You need to solidify that. You don't need that position to be a journeyman position like it had been in the past. So my whole stance on it was if you want to continue to see Bryce elevate this offense, elevate as a team or whatnot, then you need to do what you need to do to solidify that line and give him some protection on his blind side.
Mm-hmm.
What's fun? Missed it.
I just saw what you put under your name. Don't let Howard in.
Oh,
I had to mute my mic because I had to laugh and let that out.
hey, hey,
shout
listen.
shout out to Howard, man.
Howard is my new best friend. That's my best
I
friend.
know. I
You know
know.
what I'm saying? That's the homie. We got love for each other. We talk shit. We cuss each other out whenever we can. Hey, and there's no love lost.
Hmm.
Howard is my new best friend. So shout out to Howard. But if he pop in, don't let his ass in. Not today.
I got you.
Shout out to Howard shit for right now. I need a break this
What
weekend.
up? What up, Rock Jones? How you doing, bud?
What up, Rob?
Go
So
ahead,
yeah,
Tone.
the second round pick, once we took Monroe Freeland in the first round, I was hoping we were going to get a linebacker in the second round. I'm not as high on um Lee Hunter like a lot of people are, and I know he had a good year, a pretty good year at Texas Tech last year, but I've seen him 2 years prior at UCF, and for his size and to be as dominant as he can be, there were a lot of times where his play was just underwhelming, especially against greater competition. He was dominating or lower level competition, but when it came to like the big boys, it was kind of overwhelming in my opinion. And at the time, this is before we knew anything about uh to Wharton.
Ward, yeah.
What's his name? What's his first name?
Tershawn Wharton.
Tershawn Wharton, right? So I just felt like the linebacker position needed and should have been addressed in those first two rounds. So when they didn't take a linebacker in the second round, I was like, okay, maybe in the third round. Cause there were some pretty good linebackers that you could have got within those first three rounds. Now, and I don't think the talent level would have been that much of a difference. To be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
I understand Dan Morgan reason for taking a defense tackle because he said there was a little run that was going on defensive tackles. That was that was the thinnest position in the draft. When you just talking about defensive tackle, there were more nose tackles than defensive tackles. And Lee Hunter
Mm-hmm.
plays nose tackle predominantly. Most of the time throughout his career, he has been a predominant a nose tackle. So yeah, that round two pick I wasn't too crazy about. Chris Brazzle, um, I remember Chris Brazzle, his redshirt freshman season at Tulane, when Dorian Mensah was the quarterback, and both of them came onto the scene and they pushed Tulane up on into national prominence or whatnot. It was Chris
Mm-hmm.
Brazzle and Dorian Mensah. I know while he was at Tennessee, you know, people talk about the gimmicky offense that Josh Hyper runs, and he wasn't really exposed to the whole route tree, but he has it in him. I've seen him run the route tree or most of the route tree when he was at Tulane. His father played in the NFL, so he had some bloodline there. I believe, he can get the right training um, that he would need to carry it forward. Big receiver. One thing I like about him, just looking at the videos of OTAs, he knows how to stay low coming off the line of scrimmage. So when he gets it to the top of his route, he doesn't hit it with heavy feet, meaning he got to go
Mm-hmm.
from a straight up position and then break. He's already in a break position. So I like that. He got good hands, um, tough. He needs to get a little bigger. He looks a little thin at 195, 200, but you know, in the NFL weight room, I can see him getting up to like 210, maybe 215.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Will Lee, Will Lee, I know he said he could play press man or in the zone. I like his length. I like his
Mm-hmm.
aggressiveness, but because his speed is not what you would want it to be, he has to be more technique savvy to especially when you're playing press man and you playing against a speedy receiver. If your technique ain't savvy, you're not getting your hand on him at the line of scrimmage or rerouting him. you know don't that could be a problem because that receiver could run by him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But and he's when it comes to tackling, the film that I've seen, the film that I've seen, he does a lot of arm tackles. He will miss some tackles
Mm.
because he don't come with his chest or his shoulders, shoulders to hands. It's like he's
Got you.
reaching out with his hand and he's trying to hit the ankles or hit your foot or something like that. So,
Mm.
we'll see how Will Lee pans out. So he seems to have some versatility. I understand he could play the slot too, but like we said, it's a different game when you get in the NFL as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
uh college. So Sam Heck was my number three center that I scouted, and I've been watching him even since last year when I first started doing the scouting stuff.
Hmm.
Very, very, very good center. That was the steal of the draft to get him in the fifth round when he was a
Mm.
projected second, maybe third rounder. Excellent
Oh,
steal.
okay.
You talking about somebody that last year did not give up a pressure, a sack, and I think he only committed one penalty, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
Like he knows how to keep a low, wide base. He plays with his hands in the phone booth, meaning he gets into your chest. You're not gonna see none of that. A lot of reaching and grabbing of the shoulders. He's very technically sound. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Hands in
feel
the
like
phone booth.
being a
I like
meme.
that.
Yeah, he keeps it in the phone booth. So that's what I love about Sam Heck, and I do believe if he don't start this year, I think Luke Fortner is that bridge, and Sam Heck will step in and be the starter going forward after this year. Zaki
Facts.
Weekly, I like Zaki Weekly. Now he is the opposite of what I was talking about with Will Lee when it comes to being a short tackler. Um, he will come downhill. He has a quick first step. So that instinct, the instinctiveness in his game makes up for the lack of speed. So he can make that 4.6 look like it's 4.4 because of his instinctiveness. That makes sense.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. I
his
got
his
you.
his, his first step coming downhill, yeah, he comes with it, and he's a sure tackler. He don't mind mixing it up, whether you're in the box or at the line of scrimmage. He could play the deep safety position because of his instincts. So I'm more I'm ready to see what he does throughout OTAs and training camp and in these preseason games because he's gonna get a lot of playing time because he gotta, you know, prove his worth to
Facts.
make the team and stay on the team. Jackson Kuwatch, I knew nothing about whatsoever, but 6'4", 6'5", 235. He looks
Mm.
slim in his frame, so he definitely has room to put on more weight. He can get up to 245, 250.
Okay.
I haven't watched actual game film, but from highlights that I've seen of his, I mean, he has a quick twitch, quick, good first step. He will come downhill. You know how I always say, he like to stick his nose in mama kitchen and see what you're cooking. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So he
Yeah.
will come downhill, but he's a seventh round draft pick for a reason. So he's definitely a project. I
Hmm.
would love for him to soak up and bug Luke Kuechly and get all that he could from Luke Kuechly, because he is around a lot. So,
Yeah.
why not learn from one of the best to ever play that
Facts.
position? And he's right there in your building. So they say he's a
Hmm.
smart young man. So if all that pans out, everything like that is true, then if I was him, that's what I would do. And the way that this linebacker room is set up, and way these guys have gotten injured in the past, when we talk about Trevin Wallace or Claude and
Hmm.
Shirelis, guys like that, he may get an opportunity sooner rather than later. So he has to just be ready and
Yeah.
be prepared for that.
Yep.
So,
Facts.
well, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's how I felt about these guys. Draft day, during the draft or whatnot. So yeah. So that's
Okay.
my take on it. I wish we would have taken I wish we would have taken a linebacker early. That position outside of Devin Lloyd is very, very brittle.
Suspect.
Yeah, very brittle because outside of
Yeah.
Devin Lloyd,
True. True. Yeah.
Trevor Wallace has an injury history and right now is in OTAs with a red jersey on. Claude
Oh,
Shirelis
that's right.
gets
He
injured.
is.
Yeah, Claude Shirelis gets injured every single year. Okay. Bam Martin Scott we can see what he's going to do. We know he's very good on special teams. There's been times, with limited play, when he has gotten out there with the defense, he has shown a little promise, but we still don't know exactly what we got there because he hasn't really gotten the opportunity. So
Mm,
let's just pray that nothing happens to none of these guys and they all stay healthy. But the reality of that being what it is, given their recent history, that's highly unlikely.
yeah. And the thing is, so the Panthers, they reworked I think it was JC Horn's contract or somebody's contract.
Yeah.
So we got $11 million in cap space right now. So I don't know the free agent lineup as far as the players still out there, the linebacker position. But if they wanted to bring somebody else in, we do have the capital to do that. And I wanted to get back to this comment here from my lovely wife. She said, "I'm joining late, and my bad. My son's degree is in criminal justice. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry." It said in my area out here, it says like a nice walk-in closet with windows. I mean, she about right, you know. But let me tell you, when I say I be thugging it out here in my walk-in closet, dog. Like this is my little slice of heaven
Yeah.
out here, bro.
Don't worry
This
about
is
it.
my little slice of
Don't worry about it.
heaven.
Your TV gonna come down next because she gonna need some shelves.
You know what? Next comment. I ain't don't even start talking. Said Papa said it's a lot of tenderism in that linebacker
Yes,
room.
yes, Papa.
Wow.
A lot of
Wow.
tenderism. But you got some people that feel like, hey, the linebacker room, we good in the linebacker room. Just like you got some people say it feel like we good with the tight end room. I disagree with both. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. We like Nervash said we are God, we are literally one injury away from our linebacker room being like woo. you know.
Yeah.
But what was because you got like remember last year, okay? You got Christian Roseboom, who's down in Tampa now. I mean, I didn't hate Christian Roseboom. I think he did good, but he wasn't that good in coverage. Trevin Wallace is not that good in coverage. We bring in Devin Lloyd. He's good against the pass. He's good against the run. But like I said, everybody that knows the word of prayer, you pray to God, Allah, whoever. Or you don't. Just send Devin Lloyd and Trevin Wallace your good wishes and pray that they stay healthy
They
this entire season.
God and Allah, they the same person.
Oh well, whatever.
I
my
mean, I'm
my
just
bad.
saying they
Uh,
same person.
my bad. God,
Buddha,
Buddha.
Buddha.
Yeah. My bad. Rod Jones said another game. Let me see. Rashad, what's going on, man? How you doing? I said, what he do? What's going on with you? All right, cool. Okay, so next up here, we have the Panthers.
Before
Okay,
we
you
go
go
there, real
back.
quick,
Mhm.
what would be your overall grade for the draft this year?
My overall, I would give it a B plus. Okay. My like I said, my knock
Oh,
is
where
the
was that?
fact that we didn't draft a linebacker early in the draft, but Monroe Freeland, I like the pick. Okay.
Yeah,
Lee Hunter. Okay. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little confused with the Lee Hunter pick, but. Okay, so Ashawn Robinson is gone, and now we have Turk Wharton, who is going to be out for whatever time period this is. And I know he's a nose tackle, but if he can kind of get his quote unquote Derek Brown on in a sense, and I'm okay, and I'm not saying that he is going to be the next Derek Brown, but if he can slide over and play that defensive end spot, like Derek Brown does, and we still got Bobby Brown, we still got Cam Jackson, we might be able to do what it do. Because I don't know if it's probably from the start it's going to be, well, we know Everett loves a rotation. Okay, he loves mixing and matching on that defensive line. He loves switching to that the 4-man front and running the 4-2-5, bringing Merrick down as the big nickel. So it's probably going to be a lot of him and what's a man named Roy. I can't think of his first
Oh,
name.
LeBron Ray. You mean LeBron Ray?
Yeah, LeBron Ray. Jesus, thank you. Well, I had two of the three letters right, so but but LeBron Ray, you know what I mean, who has been with the Panthers for a few years now. Okay. And then in
Yeah,
the next slide, I will get to somebody who I think might also help us in this situation. Because my thing is, we got if it's we talking about just him being nose tackle, we got Bobby Brown, Lee Hunter, and Cam Jackson. You know what I mean? Now,
right.
if they all going to play nose tackle and that's it, all three of them ain't going to be here come week 1 of the season. So we'll see how that goes. But I'll give him a B plus. Brazel, like I said, I was a little confused when we picked Browser, but after seeing it, I'm like, okay, all right, cool. He could potentially be that deep threat, that we need, like I said, but we got a lot of a wide receiver. So I was just like, okay. Because my thing is this, I thought maybe, that because if I'm not mistaken, in round 3 at that pick, there was still like I think no actually Anthony Hill was on the board. I don't know if Kyle Luis from Pittsburgh was still on the board, but I think there were quite a
It
few
was.
there were
Yep.
quite a few linebackers still there on the board, because my boy Jacob Rodriguez got gone early to the Dolphins, but it was still quite a
Yeah.
few good linebackers on the
Trotter
board.
from Missouri.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So and like I said, Will Lee. I said, I definitely don't mind adding more depth to the cornerback room, over Caleb Evans and Robert Rochelle, just in case, JC or Mike Jack, get hurt. Hopefully they don't. Love the Sam Heck pick, love the Zakee Wheatley pick, and like I said, Jackson Kawach, hopefully he is a project that will bear fruit, return on investment. Maybe not this year, maybe in a couple years, we'll see. Okay, Carolina and 7th round picks have not worked out much at all recently. So I'm
Well, they
hoping that
did
he can.
what they did with Jackson Kawach because they
Mm,
didn't want to risk. They didn't want to risk losing him as an undrafted free agent. That's why they said they went on and drafted him in the
oh,
7th round to guarantee that
he'd be
he
on the
would
roster.
he would come, yeah, he'd be on the roster, right?
Okay.
So like I said, he's a project, but I
Mm,
think Dan spoke pretty good about him, even though he was a 7th round draft pick and he's a
mm,
project. So we'll see we'll see what happened with that.
okay. All right. Cool bean. Big Tight. What up? What does that say? Titan Sports. I like that. What's going on with you, man? How you doing? Let me see. Rod Johnson. Evero loves him next year. He does. He really does. They seem to like Jared Harrison Hunt. This is true. This is
Yeah.
true. Like I said, I'm gonna get to somebody in this next slide that I think, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I think it's gonna make this roster and probably help out more than people realize on the defensive line. Go ahead, Tom.
No, I ain't had nothing to say. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Let me see. Commander 336. What's up with you, dog? How you doing?
This
Good
this
to see you, my
dude,
boy.
this dude right here, 3-3.
Hey,
Yo,
let me
hey,
tell you, 336 is the model of consistency. Everywhere I see 336, his message does not change. You will not catch a pair of flip flops on this man right here. He is talking
if
his
I
same line everywhere he goes.
if I had to choose a dissertation to write and it would take me a couple years to write it, it would be on
uh
336. Yeah, yeah, because I need his brain to be and his thought process needs to be picked apart and study in science. What's up, 336?
Hey, good dude, man. Love him to death. Love him to death. Oh, okay. All right, hold on. I'm waiting for this next comment to pop up here. Oh, here you go. Yes, sir. Okay, all right. So moving on from the 7 round draft picks that we made, all right,
Yeah,
and our undrafted free agents. Okay, so let me go through the list. We got Haynes King,
sir.
who everybody instantly compared him to Taysom Hill from the Saints. You got Isaiah Glass, offensive lineman from Vanderbilt. Albert Reese the fourth, offensive tackle from Mississippi State. Aaron Hall, defensive tackle from Duke. Parker Peterson, defensive tackle from Wisconsin. Isaiah Smith, edge from SMU. Jalen Gilbo, defensive back from Texas. Cam Miller, cornerback from Rutgers. Devonta Smith, cornerback from Notre Dame. Malik Magia, wide receiver, Coastal Carolina, and Kobe Prentice, wide receiver, Baylor. Okay, now real quick, I think I think there are two people on this list that we really need to watch as far as having a great shot at making this roster. I think one is Aaron Hall from Duke, okay? Because with Turk Wharton going out, if he comes in here, gets on his P's and Q's and shows everybody what he can do. I was actually surprised that he fell out of the draft and was picked up as an undrafted free agent. I honestly thought he would have gone somewhere, in maybe like round
Right.
5 or 6, to be perfectly honest with
Right.
you. And the same with Devonta Smith, the cornerback out of Notre Dame. Okay. I say keep an eye on him. All right. If some of these other guys get out here and don't do what they supposed to do, keep an eye on Devonta Smith for being a kind of I ain't gonna say a long shot, but a surprise pick for me to make the roster. All right. So Tom, what you think about our undrafted free agent class?
Those were the two that I was really thinking about. And also, don't be surprised about Jalen Gilbo out of Texas. He's a slot corner. So he could definitely bring some competition into that slot. He wasn't nothing. He wasn't anyone that really like stood out, but he
Mm,
was a starter at Texas, if I'm not mistaken, before injuries kind of like derailed his situation, and whatnot. But you
yeah.
you will find him on the field playing meaningful minutes for Texas. So I really like Texas. Devontae Smith he started his career out at Alabama and then transferred to Notre Dame. So
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a high 4 star, possible 5 star coming out of high school.
Mm,
And I think during that time, the cornerback room in Alabama was like stacked.
yeah.
So he wanted some playing time, so he transferred and went to Notre Dame and did his thing at Notre Dame. He was a surprise to me as someone that didn't get drafted. But and Aaron Hall out of Duke, yeah, I'm an Aaron Hall fan. Um, 6'4", 300 pounds. You know, um, I think he was projected to be like a seventh round pick or a priority free agent. Um, I think he did his thing in the ACC. Team captain. He has very good movement skills. Knows how
Mm-hmm.
to get skinny in the gaps. Even when he's playing some two gaps. So yeah, I like what I seen from Aaron Hall, and given the depth along the defensive line, and there may be some people that has been with Carolina for the past 2 or 3 years that hasn't just like truly cracked that rotation. He might get an opportunity to crack that rotation. So we'll see. I'm anxious to see what he do this preseason. He's definitely going to get a lot of opportunity as well.
Okay. Facts. But we shall see because and mind you, in the last few years we've had a couple undrafted free agents make the roster and contribute. Jalen Coker, Corey Thornton, couple of examples.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. Let me see. Rock Jones said Duke, Coastal Carolina, even Georgia Tech, but no Clemson Tiger. Big Cat remembers. R.I.P. Gotcha. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I thought we might have had a shot at old Blake Miller if he fell down there, but that's because he got picked up
Yeah,
by the
I did
Lions
too.
before us. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
did
that might
too.
have been the pick if he fell down there. So, but yeah, I got you.
But in a way, I'm
Austin.
glad it didn't. in a way, I'm glad it didn't because if I'm not mistaken, Blake Miller played primarily at right tackle, right?
Yeah, but he did have experience at the collegiate level playing left tackle as well. He had about 300 and something snaps at left tackle a couple years ago. So the only reason I said because
Okay.
it wasn't completely foreign to him. It's not like he never took
Right.
a snap at left tackle his entire life. You know what I mean? So, but
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. But yeah, what's going on with you, Austin? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Another one,
Okay.
CJ. Another one to keep an
Okay.
eye on.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Smith, the edge out of SMU.
Okay.
Remember 2 years ago when SMU like really hit the scene and they won the ACC that year?
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Smith was one of the dominant edges for them that year. So if you
Mm.
go back and look at his 2024
Mm.
tape, yeah, you
Yeah.
can see why people at that time was initially high on him. I don't know the reason why he went undrafted, but when I saw that we picked him up as a undrafted free agent, it's gonna be real hard for him to crack that edge room because that edge
Yeah,
room is
buddy.
is kind of like five, six man deep right now. So, but
Yeah,
we'll see if he can. We'll see if he can work himself into a special team role some way.
yeah. Because you think you got Phillips, Scorton, Umani Allen, Pat Jones the second, and I can't think of who else is my
Gibson,
man
Gibson,
Trevin Gibson. Yep. So they
and
six deep right now.
the boy from Appalachian State,
Oh, Nick Hampton.
Nick Hampton. Yes.
Yep. Hold
Yeah.
on, let me bring up the Panthers depth chart. Not on here, but just so I got it on the corner of my eye here. Okay. So I'm not sitting here. Yeah. Okay. Cool beans. Cool beans. All right. Now, okay. Let's get into a little bit of discussion here. We're gonna go offense and defense. We're gonna go defense first. Okay. So now on the screen you see it says what are the biggest questions on defense. Okay. And Tone, I'm gonna break this down into three parts. What is your biggest question on defense? What is your biggest concern? And what do you think is what's the most what's the word I'm looking for? Most important position battle on defense. Okay? Go ahead and let you go first.
Mm. Now, what was the first question again?
Just your biggest overall question on the defense, and then your biggest concern and the biggest position battle.
My biggest question, because and this is because I've heard um, Dave Canales said like two or three times so far this offseason, and I even heard Ivero said the other day about running a 3-4 defense. So I'm
Mm,
wondering if he's gonna implement a true 3-4 defense on base downs, meaning first and second downs. If
mm-hmm.
you do that, a true 3-4, so now you're going with two tackles and a nose tackle. I like that. That's an odd man front. So you got three people with their hand in the dirt, and then you got the two outside edge slash linebackers. That's pretty much a 5-man front. I think
Mm-hmm.
our defense works a lot better out of a 5-man front, especially when we are trying to stop the run. And I know Bobby Brown had limited playing time last year. They didn't use him a whole lot, but when he was in the game, when he was manning the middle, we got better stoppage as a run defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hold on,
So
real quick, Sonic. Real quick. Hey, what's up, Mo Legion? Let me tell you. I kind of agree with you on that one. I kind of
well,
agree.
that
I
that
got
that
a video
that
to show
that
y'all, but
was
go ahead, Tone.
that was such an easy target. I ain't want to just target Vero like that. I mean that was just too easy. So Yeah, but yeah, I want to see if they run a true 3-4 defense. You know
Mm-hmm.
what does that look like in the grand scheme of things? Because you're not necessarily going to take Trayvon Murray off the field. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So is it going to be a 3-4 look with a nickel presence, or something like that? I just think that we operate better with 5 defensive linemen
Mm-hmm.
instead
I
of
agree.
4. Now I
Yeah.
know that Fangio defense, the core of that defense is being able to rush and get home with 4. We haven't been able to do that since Ivero's been here. And, I think you need to add to the scheme, add players to the scheme like you did with Jason Phillips and Devin Lloyd, but also adjust that scheme as well. So we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. And
Mm-hmm.
what was the other question?
Biggest concern.
Biggest concern is Evero going to be more aggressive in his defensive play calling? Is he going
Mm.
to
Mm.
stunt and run game up front from the
Mm-hmm.
defensive tackles and edge, more than usual? A lot of his defense is predicated attacking your gap, holding your gap, and going from there. Sometimes, you have to run that tackle in game, or, shooting 2 linebackers through the A gap. Just anything, just something different. Mug the front, you know what I'm saying? Give us simulated pressure. Show 6 and rush 4, show 7 and rush 5. You know,
Mm-hmm.
more corner blitzes off the edge. Just anything. Like throw
Yeah.
throw the whole gambit out there. Don't hold back. Don't hold back.
Facts.
Because I truly believe that you have the pieces for the most part. You have the pieces in place to do the things that maybe you've always wanted to do. And we saw a little bit of it last year, but not enough. Not enough. Not enough. And what was the
Facts.
third one?
What do you feel like is going to be the biggest position battle on defense this season?
The biggest position battle.
Mm-hmm.
Eh, Let's see. Your outside corners are they set.
Mm-hmm.
Your line Devin Lloyd is set from the
Mm-hmm.
way Dan Morgan is talking. Trevin Wallace, as long as he's healthy, he's set.
Mm-hmm.
Um, your edge, with Phillips and Scorton, I believe they set. No, Derek
Mm-hmm.
Brown is set at his position. Trayvon Moore
Right.
is set at his.
Mm-hmm.
The I don't know. I think the biggest position may come down to safety.
Okay.
I
All right.
think because a lot of people, even though Nick Scott had a better year last year than like you mentioned before, the year before, still a lot of people in Panther Nation want Nick Scott going. So is the Key Wheatley coming in? That may be an opportunity. He can hopefully show improve and take Nick Scott out of there. The slot corner position, I mean, it looks like Corey Thornton, from my understanding, he won the position last year before he got hurt. So I think he'll be given every opportunity to man that slot position. But now you got Will Lee, you got some other corners from these undrafted positions. So
Mm-hmm.
it creates depth, it creates competition, and we'll see how it shake out.
Okay. Bet. D Nice said Evero defense will make good pass rushers average. Mm, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And said free safety. Don't even lie.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bet.
Well,
So
Ray Shack said the nose tackle position he want to see.
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let me get my thoughts on that real quick before I get into mine. And like you said earlier, Tony, I believe Bobby Brown wasn't played enough last season. Okay.
Right.
And this is just from my perspective. You would see Bobby Brown get in the game. Just say if he was in there for 2 or 3 straight plays, he'd make a play or two, and then you might not see him for half the quarter. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it was just Ashawn thing. Shout out to Ashawn Robinson. I ain't gonna lie. I wish they could have kept him, but I understand why. He freed up $10 million towards the cap with his contract. And I wish him all the best down in Tampa, except for 2 games out of the season. All right. But yeah, I really think that there's a lot more that we can see out of Bobby Brown, and I hope it's a situation where Evero will put him on the field and give him the proper playing time. In my opinion. Okay, but yeah, but I agree with Shaq though. Yeah, that was one that I want to see too. Okay,
Right.
so let me get to my biggest question on defense. Okay, is will the defense be able to get enough pressure on opposing quarterbacks? Okay. I think that's my biggest question this year. Are we going to be able to make the opposing quarterbacks uncomfortable in the pocket? Okay. Because one thing that we have a lot of big individuals on that defensive line. You got Derek Brown, Lee Hunter, Bobby Brown, Cam Jackson, you got what, Aaron Hall now, LeBron Ray, everybody 300 plus. The only one that wasn't was Turk Wharton. Okay. And with those guys, I would love to see them be able to get through that offensive line, get hands on the quarterback, and potentially get sacks. But I think the biggest thing with defensive line, what were the 2 defensive ends and nose tackle, can they collapse the pocket? Okay. Can they make it where these opposing quarterbacks don't have any room to step up, push them out of the pocket, and then let your edge rushers get to them and clean up? Okay. That's what I want to see. That's my biggest question. Will we be able to get enough pressure on opposing quarterbacks? Because the thing is, all right, and I always bring up this example. Look at the Giants when they had Strahan, that run where they won 2 Super Bowls in a row. Okay. Their front 7 was pretty damn good. Okay. And they got pressure on the quarterback. Now their secondary, I'm not gonna say they were bad, but it wasn't the first thing you thought about when you thought about that Giants team. But I'm hoping that we can do the same thing here, because I'm hoping our defensive line can get pressure and take pressure off of the back half of the defense, including the linebackers. Okay. Now we got Devin Lloyd, but God forbid something happens to Devin Lloyd. If he miss a game or two, I hope it's a situation where our defensive line can get pressure on the QB and take some pressure off of our linebackers. Like I said, just in case. Okay. Because the one thing that this defense allowed last year is allowed the opposing quarterbacks too much time to wait for receivers to get open, to change their mind. I'm not gonna go here. I'm gonna go over here. And then a lot of times when they things didn't work out, when the Panthers played good defense, they played good coverage, then the quarterbacks had opportunity to step up and take off and make a run. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. That's my
Right.
biggest question this year. Will we be able to get more pressure on opposing quarterbacks? Will we be able to get through offensive lines and get to the quarterback? Okay. Okay. Now, my biggest concern, and we talked about it, is the depth at linebacker. Okay. Um, the one thing that I think that they have done a good job is making it where we're not one injury away from, like, oh shit. But I think the one spot that we are still that way on defense is a linebacker spot. Okay. Like I said, so that's my biggest concern, is the depth at linebacker. And like we said, like Poppin said, and like you said, Tony, the linebacker room is brittle. Poppin said there's a lot of tendenism, in that linebacker room, outside of Devin Lloyd. So hopefully that's not an issue. this year, and everybody can play and be healthy. But that is a concern of mine, is the depth at linebacker spot. So we'll see. All right. Now, my biggest position battle, okay, and you mentioned it. I think my biggest position battle is going to be that nickel spot. Okay. And I know you said
Nickel spot.
Corey Thornton won it last year. But my thing is this though, okay? So you got Corey Thornton, who came in and played and somewhat showed out before he got hurt. But you also have Shaw Smith Wade, who I don't think that by any means Evero is out on, as far as this defense. But I do think it's going to be I do think it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be a preseason battle. I don't personally think Corey has locked it down as of yet, because just say Shaw Smith Wade comes in and has a great camp, great great OTA's, great camp, great preseason, it might be a different story. But also, how many, nickel cornerbacks per se that we keep, because if you remember last year, Shaw Smith Wade would be on the field a lot at the safety spot. Okay. So you would have Trayvon Merritt come down, play his big nickel spot, and you have Lathan Ransom and sometimes Shaw Smith Wade back there at safety. Okay. So I don't know how necessarily that's going to going to play out. But as far as in my opinion, the biggest position, because when you said safety, I hope that will be the biggest position battle. Okay, I kind of hope so, but I don't think so, because I think Nick Scott is already he's the free safety. Merrick is the strong safety, and Wheatley and Lathan Ransom are going to continue to Latham is going to continue, and then Wheatley is going to come in and be part of those rotations, when they switch to different packages and different defensive looks. You know what I mean? But like I said, I do think the biggest battle will probably be at that nickel back spot, because I don't think it's set in stone just yet. All right. So, but we'll see.
Gotcha.
All right. Now, okay. Oh, before we get off the defense, okay, before we get off the defense, I have to I gotta play this comment. I have got to play this comment, and I hope to goodness that it is yes. Okay. So they asked Mike K asked Evero, about um he asked him about the nickel spot. Okay. And I'm gonna let this play.
I know Cassie just brought up the nickel position. That's become such an important part of your
Turn it up, CJ.
ecosystem, whether it's the
I
big
can't.
nickel or
I'm
the
sorry.
traditional
Oh.
nickel. How do you kind of weigh that package and dime pack?
Oh,
Have the guys that have the
No,
versatility
it
that
was
they
me.
do
It was
in
me.
your defense?
okay.
Yeah, it's really no different than any other personnel group. It's like you're trying to see what can give you a matchup advantage based on whether the tendencies are they run or they pass. Are you trying to pressure? Are you not? What coverage systems are you trying to run? Are you trying to be more manny or more zony? And so all of those things are being factored in. Ultimately, like we always try to start off from the standpoint of like,
Hold up.
and so all of those things are being factored in. Are you trying to pressure? Are you not? What coverage systems are you trying to run? Are you trying to be more manny or more zony?
Okay, y'all. All right. I'm not gonna lie. When I heard Evero say, "Are you trying to be more manny or more zony?" my first thought was, please fire this Joker right now. Like, please fire him. Okay, and and I don't mean that like for real, but I have never in my 43 years heard any kind of NFL, high school, college coach get in a press conference and say manny or zony. I have never heard that. I have never heard
Wow.
manny or zony. I don't know.
I'm
Y'all let
crying
me
real
know in the
tears.
comments.
I'm crying real tears.
y'all
Oh god.
let me know. y'all let me know. I did play football, but like I said, I have not heard anybody in a press conference before say Manny or Zoni. I'm just like, did he recently take a trip to Australia or something? They like to put that on the end of a lot of their words. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. You know what I mean? But yeah, I've
Well, I
never
can
heard man his own coverage called Manny and Zoni.
I can definitely tell you, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, 100%. And I played football all the way up to my senior year of high school. I ain't never heard a defensive coordinator, a defensive player, nobody, even the water boy on the defensive side say Manny Mazzoni.
Oh God. Hey, I was just saying, oi,
Yeah.
oi, oi.
When I
Oh
heard him say
God.
that, I had to play it back a few times too. I was like, "What did he call it?"
He called it Manny and Zoni.
Oh my god!
Hey, I'm sorry, y'all. I had to play that. When I got, like Tony said, I rewound and played this about 15 times. I said, did this joker just say Manny and Zoni? Because I had to think. I was like, that's the first time I've ever heard a defensive coach say, man. They play more man, more zone. I've never heard Manny or Zoni. Okay, but
Well,
yeah,
if you play Zoni 3, what does that look like?
I don't know. Go out there and hit him with that 4.25.
Yeah.
The 340.
Hey, you
Oh
just hoping
gosh.
what you just hoping your edges get to the quarterback. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Look, the only thing that makes sense in saying all that, safeties.
Safeties. Yeah, exactly.
What you gonna call them? The cornies? Your
Right.
linebackies? Oh God. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get back to business here. But yeah, I had to bring that up because when I say that made me laugh way too hard right there. I've never heard Manny or Zoni. Okay. All right.
Never.
So, all right, switch it up. Let's go to the other side of the ball. And we
It's
talk
been another
about the
hot topic.
offense. Yeah. Oh, hot. Smoking hot. Smoking hot. All
Yeah.
right. Same thing, Tone. Okay. What's your biggest question overall? What's your biggest concern? And what do you think is the biggest position battle?
Okay. That is. Let me start with the latter. The biggest position battle on
Mm-hmm.
offensive line is going to be at the left tackle spot between Rasheed Wallace and Monroe Freeland. I'm under the mindset, honestly and truly. I know we brought Rasheed Walker in. Um, from my understanding, Rasheed Walker was the top left tackle in free agency, but nobody came calling. Carolina picked him
Uh-huh.
up for a guaranteed $4 million a year. That's not when you hear $4 million guarantee, you don't think of a long time successor at the left tackle spot. And honestly, and truly, it's like to me, you may pencil him in as the starter right now based off of experience, but
Yeah.
it's 50-50. To me, it's 50-50 right now. Because if Monroe Freeman comes in here and shows that he has the skills and they look better than Rasheed Walker, hey, I'm not opposed to putting Rasheed Walker out there week one. He's gonna go against top notch edge rushers every day in practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't if that don't help you get ready, I don't know what will. And like I said, I don't have anything against Rasheed Walker, but I try to tell people let's not just act like it's just a lock that he's gonna be the left tackle. Remember when we drafted Ike Ekwano, Ike didn't sit behind nobody. He started day
Mm-hmm.
one. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? and you don't invest. Honestly, I hear what Dave said. Now I've heard what Dan said, but this is why I disagree with them, and they know this. They ain't gonna come out and say it publicly, but you don't invest that kind of money in a first round draft pick, and you don't give him the opportunity, or you don't put him out there and let him start.
Got you.
You know what I'm
I got
saying?
you.
If anything, Monroe Freeland can start, and you can let Rasheed Walker be the swing tackle.
True.
You know what I'm
True.
saying? At least you
Mm-hmm.
know you would have a veteran to play either tackle position if something was to happen to Taylor Moton and he missed time, or Monroe Freeland if he missed time. You got a veteran presence that can step in there. I'm me personally. I'm looking forward and hoping that Monroe Freeland wins the left tackle position because I just believe in him like that. Um, the
Okay.
biggest questions I know it is a big question. It is a big question on what Brad is it play calling is going to look like. Um, you got some people that
Dan Orlovsky.
no, not, I don't listen to Dan that much. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. But no, but when it comes to Brett is and I understand people being skeptical because we don't know what we don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just like the negative feeling behind it because you don't know something. I think that's unwarranted and it's not right. Like this man has been in this same system for years. He has been Dave
Yes.
Canales' right hand man for years. So it's not like he's not used to the playbook. It's not like the verbiage is going to change. His relationship with Bryce is the same that Dave Canales has with Bryce. Is he going to probably implement some different plays? Yes. Is his sequencing of plays going to be different than Dave Canales? Yes, I believe so. I hope so. I hope he's a little bit more aggressive and not as conservative as Dave is. Okay. So I think there's a lot more to have hope in than to be skeptical of. If he was somebody that just came in and he was with the Miami Dolphins for the past 3 years, or the Chicago Bears for the past 3 years, and he just came here and he didn't have a relationship with none of the players. He don't know this scheme or know this system, and then you talking about him being play calling. Yeah, I would definitely have a problem with it then, and then I definitely could see um the skepticism that I ain't gonna say most, but that a lot of people have, but that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? It's like they want to bury the man before he even has the opportunity to show what he can or cannot do. We just don't know. Give the man an
True.
opportunity. Stop trying to shoot the man down or shit on him because you don't agree with the move. I don't agree. I don't
Facts.
agree with the move. I understand it. But I don't
Mm-hmm.
mean I agree with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my take on
Yeah.
that.
Okay. And to add on to that a little bit with you, Tone, I don't think that Dave Canales is just going to say the hell with everything on offense, and it's still going to be his offense. I think he's still going to be right there with him, all the time in practice, in the meeting rooms and whatnot. It's just Izik's calling the plays. So, but we'll see, we'll see. All right, hold on. You did position battle. Was that biggest concern or question just now?
That was the
You
biggest
remember?
question. The
Okay,
biggest
what's your biggest concern?
concern. mm, my biggest concern. what will I don't know. The biggest concern, I guess, will be the offensive line in its totality. You
Mm,
know, Robert Hunt
okay.
is coming back from pretty much a season long injury.
Yeah.
How many games did he miss last year? Wasn't it like pretty much like damn near all of
15.
them or something?
I think he played
Yeah,
two
like
games,
14,
maybe.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came back
So
for the playoff game.
so your right guard position, then the center position. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people are really saying that position is safe or really feel good about the center position, and then the left tackle position. So you got three positions along the offensive line that has questions going into the off season and preseason that needs to be
Mm-hmm.
addressed, because that is the foundation of whatever you want to do on offense, whether it's run the ball, pass the ball, it don't even matter. If your offensive line ain't good, I don't care what kind of weapons you got on the outside. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be good. That's the receivers, tight ends, or the running back. Because if they can't block, if they can't pass protect, none of this matters. Nothing that
True.
nothing that Brad Isaac can call is going to matter.
Facts. Okay. All right. Bet. All right. So for me, okay, I'm going to start with. You know what? I'm going to do like you. I'm gonna start from the bottom. Okay. Biggest position battle, and I tried to think outside of the box a little bit on this one, and it just kind of popped up in my mind a couple of days ago. I think the biggest position battle on offense might be the running back spot. Okay, and hear
Mhm.
me out. Hear me out. Okay, you got what's the man name? Corey, is it Corey Dillon? AJ Dillon? Which one is it? I think I'm talking about his
AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon. Oh yeah, that's the date I'm thinking about. My bad. But okay, so the Panthers brought in AJ Dillon. Okay, now mind you, I have been, and you know this, Tony. I have been asking for the Panthers to bring in a yeah, Quadzilla.
Yeah,
I have been asking the
Quadzilla.
Panthers to bring in a power back for the longest time. The longest time. Okay. And now I know I don't post a whole lot on X, but I'm on there, quite a bit, just scrolling and looking, seeing what people saying. AJ Dillon has been all over Twitter. The Panthers have him on things. He's out doing stuff. He's out, so he's a social presence. Okay. If AJ Dillon comes in here and proves his value, okay, and we know he's not going to be the every down back, but if he can turn into that short yardage third down back, like I said, and this is kind of me from my perspective, and if the Panthers just say we don't keep but three running backs, what are we going to do with ETN? Okay. Now, mind you, ETN, he got some playing time at running back, barely. Okay. But he was more so kick and punt returner who struggled at times. And I know he was what was he, like a fourth or fifth round pick, last year. But I honestly think outside of and I know Rashak said wide receiver. But now outside of wide receiver, I think, I think this might be the biggest, position battle on the team. Okay. Because you got Chuba Hubbard, you got Jonathan Brooks, who, everybody is in awe of what he's doing in OTAs. Okay. And no disrespect to Jonathan Brooks at all. OTAs are what it is. You get out there in training camp, preseason, regular season, and keep this up. Then I'm gonna be real happy. Okay, and not saying that like I don't want him to succeed. I want him to go out there and ball out. But I refuse to get overjoyed, about a couple clips of him running in OTAs. Okay. That's
Right.
all I'm saying about that. Yeah, like I said, you know what I mean. I'm not gonna get my hopes sky high because of a few clips from OTAs. But like I said, I am as well as all of Panther Nation rooting for him, and I hope he is going to be that change of pace back that we desperately need. Okay, no knock on Chuba Hubbard, but Chuba Hubbard, in my opinion, is more so if the hole is there and the blocking is there, Chuba will run. He might make a move or two and he can get down the field. We need that running back that's going to make a couple people miss, spin move, jump over somebody, whatever, and take the ball to the house. Maybe that's Jonathan Brooks.
Right.
All right. But behind them two, I think it might be more of a battle than a lot of people realize, with Dylan and ETN, so we'll see. It might be a situation where they just keep both of them.
HN.
Hmm?
His daddy call him HN. We gonna call him
Oh,
HN.
oh, my bad, HN. My bad, my bad, my bad. Okay. And I'm gonna have to agree with you on the biggest concern, the offensive line. But I like the pieces that we have in place, except for what's a man name Forsyth. And no disrespect to him, but I'm still harping on the fact that my man gave up 11 sacks in 13 games.
Oh, you talking
Okay?
about Stone Sacks?
Stone sacks. God almighty. But yeah, I like everybody on the offensive line as is, besides him. I hope to goodness that he's not called into action. And I also hope that if he is called into action, that they have put in enough work with him this off season so he does not have a repeat performance of what he did in Vegas last year. So like I said, I'm just gonna pray for that. But my biggest concern is just the health of the offensive line. Like you said, Tony, Robert Hunt coming off injury, Icky is going to be out for whatever time period. I'm hoping that we can get a repeat of the 2024 season where our starting five was pretty much intact the entire season. Okay, I don't remember. It might have been Cade Mays missed a game or something in that whole span. But they were in there pretty much the entire season. Okay, so my biggest
Yeah.
concern, is the offensive line staying healthy. Okay, I think that's my biggest concern on offense. All right, my biggest question, okay, my biggest question for the offense this year is, can Bryce Young establish consistency with his play? Okay, and and
That's a good
again,
one.
and you know what I mean, like, and not trying to, I like Bryce. Okay, I like Bryce, but I got to keep it real though. I got to keep it real. I don't want to see no more. You go out there and throw for 448 yards, 5 touchdowns, and then hold on. Let me make sure I got it right here. Let me bring him up. Let me see
54.
stats. Yeah. Hold on. Oh, game log. Here we go. Okay, yeah. All right. So you have a 448-yard game, against the Falcons, and then you follow it up with 169 yards and 2 interceptions against San Francisco. And then later on in the season, you have, and now mind you, I know they are the Super Bowl champs, but you go out and have a 54-yard game against Seattle. Okay. My thing is, I want to see Bryce be consistent over the course of the entire season. Okay. I don't want to see these games where, like I said, 54 yards is a crazy number. Crazy number for a starting quarterback in the NFL, a number 1 pick, who potentially your franchise quarterback. I don't want to see that anymore. I want his yards. I know he got barely over 1,000 yards, 3,011 yards. Okay, he did. No, he didn't miss any games this year. Or did he miss
He
the
missed.
green?
He missed one. He missed one because of
Oh,
injury. Buffalo. The
which game?
Buffalo game.
Buffalo. That's right. Yeah, when they got their ass
Yeah.
whooped. Yeah, Buffalo game. But I just want to see more consistency over the course of the season, because as I know a lot of y'all will agree with me, okay, when I say this, but this is a pivotal year for Bryce Young. Okay, now I know a lot of people will argue back and forth whether you think he is improving or not. Okay, because when you look at it in its totality, the improvement is there, but it's not like we was at my son's spring awards show, and shout out to my one of my twins, my boy James Bryant the third, who won co-MVP on his volleyball team, and also was
Oh
now
shit.
volleyball is not a sanctioned sport, for the state of North Carolina as far as high school sports, but it will be next year. Okay, but it will be next year. But according to I forgot the name, it's in North Carolina High School Volleyball Association or something. He made second team All State. Okay, so shout out to my boy. Shout out to him. All right, but yeah, but back to Bryce, and I ain't gonna lie, I did that and I kind of forgot where I was going with what I was saying with him, but oh Jesus, but anyway, okay, but Bryce, all right. So, like I said, I want to see more consistency out of him, for the entire season. Like I said, he barely got, 3,000 yards. All right, he got 3,011. I would love to see him go out there and be able to average at least 200 yards a game. You know what I mean? Like at the very minimum, I would love to see him go out there and be able to average 250. And also I want to like even like the playoff game. Okay. Now I know that Bryce had just drove us down the field, scored a touchdown, and we got the lead. All right. Got the lead. Then the Rams scoop they, yellow and blue asses right down the field on our defense, get a touchdown, take the lead again. Okay. There was still enough time for the Panthers to get in field goal range. I do believe and tie the game up. And it was 4 plays of just you know what I mean. So and it's hard for me to say that because he's had so many drives where he's taken us down the field and put us in a position to win games as well. And then you also so the clip going around of Bryce, cussing at the offense, and he was like, "It's not fucking raining anymore. Let's clean this shit up. We gotta get more consistent." Okay, and when I first saw that, I was
Love to
like,
hear it.
what? I love to hear it too. I love to hear it too. But I knew everybody's gonna kind of blow this out of proportion a little bit. My thought process on that is, I pray that's not the first time he has said that. I pray that's just the first time they've caught him on camera with that audio. Okay. Because my thing
Yeah.
is, this is some stuff that he's been needing to say, to himself and the rest of the offense, since he's been in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, and that's
Right.
just and I hope, if he hasn't been saying, and I'm not saying I want him to go out there and be disrespectful, to his teammates and whatever. But yeah, every now and then you get a situation where you got some people working with you, and I ain't gonna lie, I got a coworker, he's in his 20s, and every now and then, I love him to death, love him to death. But every now and then, I gotta be like, hey, stop, like no. He likes to joke around, likes to do stuff, and I like to joke around too. But then sometimes I got to be like, hey, bro, no, come on, let's go, let's get it, let's get this done, and so we can move on. But my thing is, like I said, if it takes that for Bryce Young, that him saying stuff, and everybody's like shocked. They're like, "Oh my God, Bryce cussed." Like I said, I hope that ain't the first time that he has done that. And you ain't got to cuss to be a vocal leader. You get what I'm saying? But I'm
Right.
assuming that he was highly pissed off at the way that the offense was playing. In the rain. Okay. And I know this is not the first time they've practiced in the rain, but it must have been a situation where they were out there and they were just looking terrible. You know what I mean? But let me go ahead and round this on up. But yeah, but my biggest question, are we going to see the consistency out of Bryce Young that all of us, I think really want to see on a game by game basis? Okay. Now, mind you, we have games where we had a 4-game win streak last year. Okay, he had 198 yards, 199, 138, 102. Okay, you know, and then again, you have a game like shoot, even though like in the Tampa Bay game, he had 266, you know, but we lost by 2 points. But even though that last game of the season, I don't care what nobody say, the ref screwed us royally, you know, in that game.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because my thing is this, all right? If you know we got Chuba Hubbard and we got Jonathan Brooks. Okay. Now, if Jonathan Brooks stay healthy all year, it's going to be, you know, like just like they tried to do last year, more of a two-back system.
Right.
I really disagreed with how they did that last year because Rico was hot. I think you should have let Rico continue to be hot. I don't care if you paid Chuba. I don't care if he was running back one during the season. This is a team game. You go with the hot hand. Rico was the hot hand at that point. Rico was on a 1-year deal. You know, go ahead and get the most out of this cat while he was here. You know, let Chuba come back and get healthy and all that good stuff and whatever. You know what I mean? But if it's the same kind of situation this year, and just say the running game isn't, you know, I ain't gonna say doesn't get off to the best start or whatever the case may be. That's what I'm saying. I hope Bryce can go out there and, like I said, be more consistent game by game and sling the rock. You know what I mean? I want to see more 300-yard games out of him. You know, 300-yard games and 3 touchdowns and whatnot. You know, I know he's gonna have his interceptions and whatnot, but over the course of the season, my biggest question is, can Bryce be more consistent over that time? So yeah.
Got you.
All right. Let me see. There's a lot of comments here. Hold on. Let me go back and get to them. Let me see. Rashak said, but here I think XL, Coker, and Brazzers alone are gonna battle for 2 and 4 spots. Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I think 1 and 2 are set. And Tet and Coker. I think that's set. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm about to
But you
say,
got
don't you say it. Don't you say
say
it.
what? Oh, you talking about Leggett?
XL. Yeah.
No, man.
Oh, okay.
Trust me, I like Excel and I want to see, but no, he's not wide receiver too. I'm sorry, no. Coker is in my book is wide receiver too. You know, but I definitely think there's going to be because, like I said, we got a bunch of cats. You got David Moore who's coming back. You got Bryson Tremaine who looked good when he got playing time. You have XL, you got Brazzle, and you bring in John Mechie, okay? And I heard somebody say that they hated John Mechie. He wasn't shit when he was at Alabama, and he ain't been shit since he been in the league. Well, you never know. New situation, new surroundings, new circumstances. That man might do something this offseason. So we'll see. It's definitely going to be, you know, a battle at that wide receiver group. But yeah,
Yeah.
he said A Chan going nowhere. Jonathan
No,
Brooks
sir.
is going
He's
to
not.
cook. He has so much, and that's what I'm hoping as well, Panther Dog. I'm hoping that he
Me too.
goes out there, put his chef hat on, and make the biggest pot of whatever. What will help him, you know, you know what I mean? You
Louisiana
know,
gumbo. Not Louisiana,
something,
Louisiana gumbo.
something.
Yeah, the L is
Stone,
silent.
Stone Sacks, fact. Oh my goodness. Said he has to show us who he is. He said he's off one. Dong. That's when Bryce missed. Yep. Said that's why Tep took the clipboard away from Canales. I got you.
I don't
So he
think
isn't
that's true,
holding up.
Panther Dog. I don't think it went down like that. I don't
I don't think
think.
it did either, but I
Yeah.
do agree with what he said right here. So he isn't holding up the play calling. Okay, now I ain't gonna necessarily say holding up the play calling per se, but I will say from my perspective, there were times where I feel like the Dave Canales got really stubborn with the play calling. Okay, especially with the run game, it was just like he was forcing the ball. He was like, "No, I've got to run the ball. I've got to make this work." And it's just like, dude, and I go back to this one game all the time because it was the Saints game at home in Charlotte. And from the jump, the Saints were like, y'all are not going to run the ball on us. And Dave kept doing it. He kept forcing it. And it was like, it was damn near the fourth quarter before Dave was just, all right, well, let me go ahead and try to sling this thing. Like, mind you, I'm not saying abandon the run completely, but I felt like sometimes he got into these little ruts where it's almost like the creativity you would see in one game would not show up for the next game or two, and then it would come back. Then it would
Right,
show up again.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
That so
and maybe that's what Izzy could do. Go ahead, Tom.
well, no, I'm saying that was the inconsistency that me and some people were talking about. Like all of the inconsistencies that we had on offense last year wasn't just solely Bryce. You know what I'm saying? And I try to
Mm-hmm.
get people to understand and realize you have to start with the offensive coordinator and the play calling. You know what I'm saying? You have to start with him. I mean, there were times last year because we've talked about it on the podcast. We've seen journalists talk about it. We've seen people talk about it on mainstream media. So we weren't the only ones that saw it as well. There were times last year where Dave Canales was making boneheaded play calls. Like, why you
Mm-hmm.
doing this on this down and distance? Why you doing this right now and we're down? Why you calling this when we need to try to get ahead? There's still time left in the game. Like there were some inconsistencies with his play calling, and rightfully so, people called it out. Now I'm of the mindset that just maybe, Dave Canales said, you know what? I'm man enough to say that I made some mistakes, and maybe he feel like that the offense can take a step further, hopefully, with Brad Isaac on it. By him making this decision, it allows him to be more hands on the team, not just calling offensive plays or not just talking to the quarterback on the sidelines or just being concerned with the quarterback room. Now he has the opportunity to go around and let his presence be felt in each room, offense, defense, special
Uh-huh.
teams, get to know some of these players a little bit more instead of just his main focus being on one player on one side of the ball. Now that's just me optimistically um thinking from a positive standpoint. You know what I'm saying? But I don't if you know that what you've been doing is not working or is not giving your offense the best shot to win games, and you yourself feels like your play calling is not up to par, there's nothing wrong with saying, let me be the bigger man, step aside and promote somebody else whom I believe can do a better job. Now, can he? We don't know because we ain't never seen it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with Dave saying, let me step back and look at it from another angle and get another view of this. I heard what Dan Orlovsky and some of these guys on Pat McAfee were saying. Oh, wait, Dave, you were brought in to call plays. I wouldn't have given it up and this and that. That's crazy. That's crazy talk for
Mm-hmm.
TV because we've seen Nick Sirianni do that when he got to Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts has had 5 different play callers 6 years out of his career. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? There was times the past 2 or 3 years when there was like, why Nick Sirianni give up the play calling? He needed to take the play calling duties back. But he ain't listening to what everybody on the outside was saying. He stood true in what he believed and he moved forward. So I'm just saying, just give this opportunity. We have no idea what it's going to look like. We don't know what it's going to look like until we know what it looks like.
Facts, facts. Hey, and what's up, SC Pace? Um, hold on, not this comment, this one. He said, I get so sick and tired of Bryce getting blamed for everything with his team. Play calling was nowhere near good enough last season. If anything, Bryce elevated and bailed out Canales' play calling. Now, I do agree on certain occasions. Yeah, Bryce did bail out the play calling, and I'm with you. I'm not one that's going to sit here and blame Bryce Young for every single thing that happens. With this offense. But at the same time, I'm also not going to say that he is not at fault because, like I always say, there's a lot of blame to go around on this whole team. If you look at the games that we lost last season, okay, there are times where the offense failed us. There are times where the offense did more than enough, and the defense was just like, "Oh, we got to play today." Oh, okay. Well, shoot. Well, let's go out here and
Right.
try to do something. And like I said, and same with there was times the defense was balling, the offense was like, oh shit, is it green 80 or green 40? It was it was things like that. But but like I said, I just
Wait,
I, and,
it was
I,
what? Green
it's like
what?
they went out, but they said it was like, is it green 80 or green 40? You know what I mean? So but yeah, but when I say biggest question, and like I said, I want Bryce to be more consistent, and I also want all the contributing factors that help Bryce Young be more consistent. I want them to be more consistent as well. But in that too, I want Bryce to be able to, kind of be more consistent with thinking and moving on the fly as well. When certain situations happen. But like I said, it's just yeah, because like I said, I think our offense, okay, now I know our tight end room is not the best. I know they've ranked at what, second, third worst in the league in one report. I think we're gonna have a great group of wide receivers, whoever makes the roster. I think we're gonna be good there. If our offensive line can stay healthy, I think we're gonna be good there. I think we got a good stable of running backs. Like I said, I finally believe that we have that power back that I've been wanting for God knows how long. You know, Bryce
Right.
can sling the ball, and we put that all together. I think our offense, can be fine. But like what Tony's talking about, is it might be this right here. Brad Isaac might be the thing that makes this offense go to the next level. You never know. And somebody in the comments was saying that and there was two people in the comments talking about Brad Isaac potentially throwing the ball deep more as well. And that was something that it seemed like Dave Canals was very reluctant to do. And then everybody hits you with oh, well, Bryce can't throw the ball past 20 yards. I'm like, come on, dude. Bryce Young can sling the ball down the field, but they gotta make the call. And when it's there, Bryce will
That will
let it.
always
Yeah,
be a lazy take.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like if it's there, shoot, Bryce he'll launch it down the field. But if you got a play call where you got two people running out in the flats and then the other two wide receivers running drags across the field and ain't got nobody deep, shit, ain't nobody to throw to. You know what I mean? Or if you get a situation you got
Mm-hmm.
somebody deep, but and it's like sometimes it's like throw it. Yeah, and sometimes it might not be the best throw. You get what I'm saying? It might be a situation where that throw would have got picked off or whatever. You know what I mean? But like I
Right.
said, I
Right.
just want consistency more for the offense, but I think it does start with Bryce Young. Okay. It does start with Bryce Young and his play. And I'm hoping that, like I said, I don't think this is a knock on Dave Canales, but like you said, like you said, Tony, it's a situation where it was like he looked at it, he evaluated, he was like, you know what, this might be what's best for this team as a group as a whole. So we'll see.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Say Eagles a mess, Tony. Hey, Mr. Hunky Dory, what's good with you, man? How you doing this morning? Said tight end room
Ain't
track.
seen Mr.
Yeah,
Hunky Dory nowhere.
yeah. Okay. I'm not going. Okay, and let me say this too. I'm not going to label the tight end room as just bottom feeding trash. Okay, I'm not going to do that.
They just
But
average.
they just average. But my thing is, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? I still, to me, I still see the progression that Tommy Tremble has gone through. Shoot, Sanders. I just think Sanders needs to stay healthy. I think that's his biggest issue. He just needs to go out there and stay healthy and stop flipping upside down on his head so many times. You know what I mean? You got Mitchell Evans. And sometimes I do think it's just that they need to design more plays for the tight ends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that might be an issue. It's not like the Panthers tight ends were targeted, this high percentage and they dropped the ball you know, 60% of the time, you know, or whatever. But like I said,
Right.
we'll see, because again, this guy right here, you know, it may change. You know, it just, and maybe this would be a situation, and I hope it's like this. Like I was saying about advice, okay? Dave Canales is there if he needs it, but let this man run this offense, okay? Let him run this offense. Let him call the plays, and let him do what he needs to do, or he thinks we need to do to make this team better. All right, so, but we'll
Facts.
see. Hmm.
Facts on
Dollar
facts.
Dollar Bill's about to go from carrots to sugar cube. Damn. He was at the Hurricanes game last night. Shout out to the
Yeah, I
Carolina
saw him.
Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Going back to the Stanley Cup Finals. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. But and them tell, hey boy, they beat the hell out of Montreal. They beat them what, 6-0 or 6-1?
Yeah.
Ooh,
And
that's
I
like
want
beating.
I want to give a I want to give a shout out to PK Saban, the
Mm,
hockey analyst that's on ESPN, who said that the
mm.
Canadians, the Montreal Canadiens was going to
I saw
run all
that.
over run all over the Hurricanes. We ain't have the talent to match Carolina and this and that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh huh.
Hey Tony, I saw that. What was it like? It was after game one when Montreal came to Carolina and won game one. I saw when he said that. He said that he felt like Montreal's roster was just it, and he thought that they were going to go all the way and win. You know, the Stanley Cup. Let me tell you, Carolina gutted out two overtime wins and beat the shit out of them last two games, bro. It wasn't even close, those last two games. So yeah,
Like
but
they were undefeated in the playoffs up until that point, and
that one
he
game,
put no respect on their name.
none,
Yeah,
absolutely none. So they going to play Vegas now.
bitch.
So it's the Las Vegas, it's the Las Vegas Knights and the Carolina Panthers for Lord Stanley Cup.
Golden
All
Knights,
right,
the Golden Knights,
huh?
the Golden Knights of Las Vegas,
What I say?
Las Vegas Knights.
Oh, my bad. Well, shoot, I ain't trying to put that much respect on them. I want the Hurricanes to win. So, but yeah, okay.
That
Golden
team
Knights,
from
my
Las
bad.
Vegas.
Yeah, that team from Vegas. Now, don't get me wrong, boy. Boy, let me tell you, when I say I love Las Vegas, let me tell you, anytime Janelle, she was like, "You want to go?" I'm like, "Yep,
Yep.
yep, count me in." But Miss Sunky Door said, "Hold up, yeah, Izzy is calling the plays for are we going to see tablets on the sideline and group meetings this year?" I don't know. To
What
be
you
honest
mean
with
by
you, though,
that?
Tom, I guess he's talking about, like, you know, Izzy on the when the offense comes off the field, and you know how they have the Microsoft tablets, and you sitting down with the quarterbacks. You know, a lot of teams they're going
Yeah.
over the previous series and whatnot. To be
Mm.
honest with you, I wonder if Izzy's gonna stay on the sidelines or is he gonna go up in the booth? You know, because Canals was always on the sideline because he's the head coach, but Brad Izzy was always right there with him. You know, I don't
Yeah.
know who they had up in the booth as far as, you know, the
I
offense side of the
think
ball pertaining to play calling or whatever.
I think this year, I think you'll see Brad Isaac on the sidelines. So he had that one on one with Bryce, and
Mm-hmm.
Darryl Bevel will be up in the booth this year.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
'cause
Pace. I agree.
they still have a quarterbacks coach, so
Okay.
that guy
I
be on
got
the
you.
sidelines with Bryce too.
Yep. So I need a Hurricane jersey. Said
Yeah,
raise
I
up,
need one
King. Let's
too.
go. 6-1. Luke and J Stu was at the game. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah,
Who was
man.
6-1?
Get
Somebody
that's
Leggett.
that's no. That was the score last night. They beat Montreal
Oh,
6-1. That's like getting
oh,
beat 50 to 14 in the NFL.
yeah, yeah.
They
That's not
they beat
good.
they beat they ass, dog.
Yes,
Put
sir.
Bruh, he said put Legay in the booth with Isaac so he won't play. Wow, man. Y'all leave Legay alone, man. Lord have mercy. All right, y'all. So that's all I got for you here on this rainy Saturday morning. Cause let me tell you, when I woke up, boy, it was pouring outside. But I don't think it's gonna rain anymore today. And Tone, I will make sure that when I get out there and give my what is it my Just Dance moves, I'll try to make sure that my boy gets a video of it. So we'll play that
Yeah.
next time we go
Don't
live.
don't try to just record the good shit. No, we want to see all of it. CJ. Two
Oh,
right feet. We want to see all of it.
man, I ain't got no doubt. Let me tell you, I got moves when I feel like it. Okay, let me. I
Okay.
got to be in the right mood. When I want to, I will. If I ain't feeling it, I'm sitting my ass down somewhere. He said, "I'll
Gotcha.
leave Leggett alone once he gets cut or traded." Damn.
Where is what's his name? Uh Leggett, Xavier Leggett's cousin. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about? See that?
Nakari.
Yeah, Nakari. Yeah,
Oh,
Nakari.
I don't know. Shout out to the
Yeah.
car. But if like I said, if I'd have been on a little more consistent, he probably would have been on here. I holler at him
Yeah.
on X after this. Isaac started
Okay.
as Canales' personal trainer, so go shine Dave's shoes and you can be his defensive coordinator, Tony. Damn.
First of
Oh
all,
god.
I ain't shining nobody damn shoes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, CJ rap now. I don't know. You talking about throwing a freestyle? Look, y'all go and check out my TikTok page. I did do a little something remix to Minx in Miami. With the Carolina Panthers. I put on. I was like, I
What?
just wanna elevate. Panthers win the South again in 3 or 4 playoff games. Keep pounding. So that ain't a freestyle or none. That was just a little remix there. But yeah, I
What
ain't gonna
does
lie. I ain't gonna lie. I have gotten to the point where I absolutely love doing that. I'll be in my work truck riding on 85 to work, and a song will come on. And I'll be like, you know what? I'll be like, let me turn the glasses on real quick and try to make me a little remix pertaining to the Panthers.
it sound like a old ass country Bone Thugs and Harmony. Find out.
Ah, wake up, wake up, wake up. Watermelons in the truck. Oh my
Oh
goodness,
God.
yo.
Oh God.
Oh, yo. Hey, but man, hey, look, Tone, I appreciate you coming up here with me, dog, man. You got anything else you want to say before we get up out of here?
Nah, not nothing particular. I'm just gonna go back over into the jungle and talk more shit. See who I can aggravate today. Today's Saturday, so I'm feeling good. I might go over here and unk stream and
Mm.
fuck with Freddie and them for a little bit.
I hear you. Shoot,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna turn on one of my favorite games, Farming Simulator here and go do some stuff on there. But I ain't gonna lie though. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. um Part of while I was out, and I'll always say this, make sure you put yourself first in a lot of things. Well, because I had a little bit of a moment where like I was having a hard time doing anything. Like I would get on here and start trying to think up stuff for a podcast, and 3 minutes later, I would just quit and go do something else. And then whatever I went to go do, I'll be on it for like 3 or 4 minutes, and then I would just give it up. I get back on the computer, try and do something. I would stop. I go outside and try to do stuff, and I would just stop. And I ain't gonna lie, that went on, and that contributed to why I wasn't online too, a little bit. I mean, I really was busy. I'm not gonna say I wasn't, but I ain't gonna lie. For last month, I had a hard time like just focusing and doing stuff, And it wasn't until I called Big Cuz here and I talked to him about it, and I talked to one of my boys about it, and I think it was just a good thing for me to just actually talk about it. I think I had been holding it to myself, and when I actually said something to somebody, it made everything better. You know what I mean? And I only bring that up, just kind of a parting message to everybody. Something going on with you, talk to somebody about it. Okay. Hell, if you see me online or you see me on X or something, if you need to talk to me, holla at your boy. Send me a message or come talk to me on here. I don't know why that just came across my heart just now. But anybody out there, if you have an issue, like I said, I'm okay. I wouldn't have any like bad issues. I was just having a hard time like focusing on anything. Like I could do something for like 2 minutes and then I'd be like, I don't want to do this no more you know. So, but yeah, and I also wanted to say because thank you for listening to me, give me your opinion and my other cousin my other cousin
Anytime,
Gerald as
bro.
well. Hey, Gerald, Aunt Helen's son, he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
he said, "Man, you just getting old, man." He said that's all it is. He's like you just getting old. He said just come with the territory. But yeah, but like I said,
Listen,
go ahead, Tom.
no, I'm gonna say it's every day is comical in my house when you talking about getting older. Two 50+
Boy.
year old husband and wife. Yeah, yeah. We definitely see what our parents was going through uh when they were our age. Yeah.
hmm But hey, let me tell you, talking about getting old. Let me tell you, my ass almost fell over putting my damn drawers on last night, bro. And it was funny because I came across the other side of the bed and I was putting them on, and next thing you know, I kind of fell like this. And Janelle turned around and looked at me. She's like, "You okay?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, "I'm good." I said, "I'm good." I said, "That was just me being old and being out of balance." I said, "Other than that, I'm fine."
Gotcha.
But yeah, let me tell you, I almost hit the floor hard, boy. I caught myself. All right, let me stop embarrassing myself on here. Okay. But yeah, man, I just again I appreciate everybody in the comments. Thank y'all for joining me and Tone today, talking about our Carolina Panthers. In the weeks going forward, I will try to, start breaking down, the offense and defense. Get back to talking about, our biggest questions and concerns again, but trying to focus them on, certain players and what we think they will or will not do, how we think they're going to be used, and things like that. We're going to look. I know everybody's seen the schedule already, and I kind of forgot to put it up here, but I will save that for another live, and we will look at the schedule and see, because we got a first place schedule. Okay, we got a first place schedule because we won our division, and I think instantly everybody is counting the Carolina Panthers out. Okay, we are done for. I saw somebody put us down as going 2-15. They had us starting off like 0-6 or 0-7 or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be the case at all. I think this team is going to surprise a lot of people if they go in, if they put in the work and do what I think that they are capable of doing. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have gotten no respect from the mainstream media.
None.
None.
None. Not I mean
And that's
absolutely
okay. That's
none.
okay.
But you know
That's
what?
okay.
I think we were trending in the right direction with the national media until the schedule came out. When that schedule came out, they said, "Oh, the hell with y'all. Oh, that's a wrap. We gonna go back to act like y'all don't exist." Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. Mr. Dory said 52 at the end of June, out of nowhere. I snap, crackle, pop. Shit, I'm 44, and I know what you mean by that one. I'm sorry, 40. I'll be 44 this year. Said not them draw, yeah, buddy. Let me tell you, me and them jokers almost hit the flow, bro. Bad habit of mine. I keep saying I remember when. Oh, I keep trying to not say that. Oh, I keep trying, but I can't help it. Cause yeah, like, I'm to that point. I'm like my daddy, boy. I'll be like, you know what? I remember when blah blah blah. And I'll be sitting thinking like, but now I'm just like, whatever. So,
My
but yeah.
my 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 favorite thing that I say to my wife is what's the date? What the day is? Yeah, what's the date? And her favorite thing, babe, you see my phone? That's 15 times a day. You see my phone? Dog.
Oh my goodness, yo. Let me tell
Yeah.
you, I feel you on that one. I feel you. But all right, y'all. But let me go ahead and get up out of here. And again, shout out to my boy Jamal. Birthday in a couple days. Gonna go hang out with him later on. And like I said, eat his food and drink his liquor. All right. So I thank everybody for joining. Because again, thank you for joining me as well. On everybody's way out, if you haven't already, please make sure whatever platform you're watching on, hit that like and subscribe button. Everybody who gave a super chat today, I greatly appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. As always, I will take that and put it towards making this channel better for everybody in the future. Okay. And as always, Panther Nation, I'm gonna leave y'all with three things. Hold on. Me get this here. All right. Number one, y'all be good. Number two, y'all be safe. And number three, as always, with my newly printed hold on, these came out. With my newly printed Cuban link Panthers chain. Hey, keep pounding, man. I'll see you.